Sorry about that. Yeah. Had to kick everybody on here. Get things rolling. How we doing on the audio? Audio's looking good. Looking fresh. Welcome. Yes, we are full on back visor game. I went front in visor gang today, as opposed to not front, as opposed to behind the back. Which now I'm thinking maybe I don't. It feels weird. You know, it's just a lid. We're gonna switch it. Oh yeah. Fuck. There you go, right? Feels good. Feels great. We got Visor Gang in the chat. We got Visor Gang in the room. Because it's just me. It's another solo ep. Well, this one won't be a full solo episode. Because before we tried one, and Sage came halfway through because he was on the way. He was doing some wedding stuff. Not his wedding. He was filming weddings and stuff last night. A long journey. Needed a R&R break. Said, not a problem. I can talk for an hour. Do it pretty much every week anyways. Badooch. So, let's just get into it. Well, one, I got some Wegmans Dragon Fruit Berry. This is now a taste test, a beverage test podcast maybe. Let's get a little taste in there. Oh, that's fucking terrible. But some people probably like it. I just hate that kind of shit. But I needed some hydration. So anyways, let's get into the game. Let's get excited. Let's make sure, one, I know how much time I'm talking today. So there's basically two ways this can go. This is going to be a very quick podcast or a very long one, because we all know I can just keep rolling. So we'll see what goes on there. I think I'm like a minute or two in. Unless you're live, then I've been live for like 3 minutes. But I apologize because I was getting the lighting set up and all that kind of shit. If the lighting's wrong, don't blame me. Blame Sage because he's not fucking here to set it up. He knows where all that's supposed to go. I think it goes where I put it. Not sure. I don't know. But yes, thank you. I did get a haircut. No one said that, but it's just me and the id again, the ego. We're all in the super ego, whatever the fuck. We're all bouncing around. All right, what topic? There's a couple big topics this week. I'm thinking I might as well just jump into the biggest one. So we can just kind of get it open here because obviously there's big things happen this week in gaming, not just games but also with companies. The biggest thing, there's still information coming out, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it just because we don't all have all the information at this time. But Activision Blizzard, you could have guessed it if you were on anything social media this week. Activision Blizzard's getting sued by California over allegations of quote-unquote frat boy culture and sexual harassment. Basically, there were some issues at the company saying completely unacceptable behavior, procrastinating this frat boy culture, iterating our culture, and that's so the CEO put out a statement before I read that, or I'm not gonna read the whole thing because it's like a long fucking email, but I'll give you the gist. But before I do that, basically I'll give you the gist of the allegations, which is what I'm going to find when I can find. I had this like all set up, and then I had to set up those lights, man. Anyways, let's go to. All right, the documents accused Activision Blizzard of fostering a pervasive frat boy workplace in their culture. Male employees are said to drink copious amounts of alcohol as they make way through the cubicles and often engage in inappropriate behavior towards female employees. I'm reading this from the IGN link. They have the link to the full lawsuit, but I don't want to read I'm not going to just read the whole thing on here. Male employees are said to come into work hungover, play video games during work while delegating their responsibilities to female employees, engage in banter about their sexual encounters, talk openly about female bodies, and joke about rape. The one lawsuit in particular has an incident with a female employee who is already subjected to intense sexual harassment at that company. She committed suicide during a work trip with a male supervisor who allegedly brought inappropriate sexual items with him along the trip. Holy shit. Fuck that guy. The lawsuit is asking for an injunction that will force Activision Blizzard to comply with workplace protections as well as deliver unpaid wages, pay adjustments, back pay, and lost wages and benefits to female employees. This is also about saying women are not getting equal pay for same positions as well. So yeah, that's pretty fucked up. Yeah, I mean, like, Jesus Christ, what kind of fucking run are you doing here, Blizzard? So Blizzard did say, Blizzard spokesman did have a part of this. They did say immediately after this came out, and this is what they said: we value diversity and strive to foster a workplace that offers inclusivity for everyone. There's no place for our company. So I'm reading super fast. In our company or industry or any industry for sexual misconduct or harassment of any kind, we take every allegation seriously and investigate all claims. In cases related to misconduct, action was taken to address the issue. The DFEH includes distorted and in many cases false depictions of Blizzard's past. We have been extremely cooperative with the DFEH throughout their investigation, including providing them with extensive data and ample documentation, but they refused to inform us what issues they perceived. They were required by law to adequately investigate and have good faith discussions with us to better understand and resolve any claims and concerns before going to litigation, but they have failed to do so. Instead, they rushed to file an inaccurate complaint as well as demonstrating in court. We are sickened by the reprehensible conduct in the DFE to drag this complaint in to drag into the complaint the tragic suicide of an employee whose passing has no bearing whatsoever on this case and with no regard of her grieving family. While we find this behavior to be disgraceful and unprofessional, it is unfortunately an example of how they have conducted themselves through the course of this investigation. It is the type of irresponsible behavior of this unacceptable behavior, irresponsible behavior from unacceptable state bureaucrats that are driving many to leave the state's best businesses out of California. The picture that DEF paints is not the Blizzard workplace of today. Over the past several years and continuing since the initial investigation started, we've made significant changes to address company culture and reflect more diversity within our leadership teams. We updated our code of conduct to emphasize a strict no retaliation focus, amplified internal programs and channels for employees to report violations, including an ask list with a confidential integrity hotline, included an employee relations team dedicated to investigating employee concerns. We have strengthened our commitment to diversity, equality, and inclusion, and combined our employee networks at a global level to amplify support. Employees must also undergo regular anti-harassment training and have done so for many years. All right, this goes on, but it pretty much says the same shit. So what does that mean? They're saying the DFEH, which is, it's the department, that's the governmental body that's suing the shit out of them. Yeah, I don't have that thing. We can look it up. DFEH. It's the Department of Fair Employment and Housing. There you go. So they're saying Blizzard's basically saying that the Department of the DFEH rushed to this judgment and these allegations. I guess they've been working with them in tandem for the last few years to gather information. They've been very open about it and also trying to implement. What Blizzard's trying to get across is their way they're painting is not, this is not what Blizzard's like today. They've been incorporating best practices, cleaning up their act, having this anti-harassment training, and all this other shit they've been doing. They're trying to better their company culture and make sure they're taking care of people better and not letting this kind of shit slip, which is just irreprehensible and just fucking despicable and disgusting to have in a workplace. It's like, you should go there to work, you should feel comfortable and safe no matter what race, sex, religion, creed, whatever the fuck you are or believe or etc. Should not be a problem, and you shouldn't be like forced to have weird conversations about people that are obviously hurtful to you and others. So fuck any of that shit. And they're basically trying to say they've kind of been trying to do that. There's clearly some acknowledgement that they understand they had issues in the past, but this is just that in the past, and they have over the last several years kind of been rooting out that process. Now, I'm sure it's not binary 1 to 0. It's all gone, but they've clearly been working at getting a lot of this out. Now, whether they did or did not, I don't know, but it seems pretty clear. All I know is that whole suicide story, that is fucked up. It sounds like they're saying that had no bearing on this case. I don't know. I don't know that story. I don't know any of the information other than what I just read off for you guys at IGN here. Here's what I do know. It looks pretty fucked up. The Blizzard clearly did have issues, whether they still do or not. I guess they're saying they don't. And they just want that to be made clear. They've taken steps. But either way, this is disgusting. It's good to see that they've taken the steps to get this anti-harassment, but this is the kind of shit that should never really happen in a company. Like I said, you should feel comfortable where you are. And like walking through the cubicles drunk and stuff like that. I mean, that's pretty fucked up. I mean, if it's after hours, I guess if you're like if you have like kegs at the office, I know every office is different. So that I don't think necessarily having alcohol at work kind of makes it a bad workplace. I think it can actually make it a good workplace. But obviously, the lowering of inhibitions, the result of ingesting the alcohol, could then create some problems for sure. And that's also just like the anti-harassment training is also good. It's also just common sense. Like, you're at work, dude. You get paid to work here. This is not your fucking frat boy hangout. And I say that as someone who's in a frat. Sage and I we're in the same fraternity. We call them fraternity men instead of frat bros because you sound like an asshole with frat bros, which obviously, hence this frat boy culture, which, by the way, to be very clear, we vehemently do not support that kind of bullshit. You want to have your own dumbass jokes with your friends and stuff, that's fine. Like, I don't regulate who can say what to who, but you're doing it in the workplace. You're doing it to people who aren't feeling comfortable about it, all that kind of shit. It's like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Like, this is not the place for that. It's a place to work, a place where people come, feel safe. They should feel safe. They're there because they're trying to provide for themselves or their family or whatever. And they're just trying to get their job done. They're not there to get berated by you or even have to talk to you. So just, yeah, I mean, it sounds like Blizzard has made steps to be better, but obviously there was significant issues in the past and potentially still issues now. I mean, it's disgusting to see, and you just got to be better than this. And it's some fucked up thing that's like, hey man, females are in gaming, females are in the workplace. This isn't 1940, dude. Like, get over yourself. Treat everybody as an equal. Pay them the fucking same. They're doing the same goddamn job, and don't make fucked up jokes to them when they're clearly not comfortable. And if you don't understand that and you're concerned, like, oh wait, I don't know if this is safe to say, probably shouldn't say it at all. And if you're drinking too much at work that you're saying stupid shit and having inappropriate behavior, then maybe it's time to stop drinking at work, and maybe it's time to even go to AA if you really have that big of a problem and can't control yourself. I mean, it's fucking disgusting and despicable. So we fully support, clean up the workplace, and I know I can speak for Sage for that as well. That, like, obviously the workplace is not something for Sage. I can guarantee I speak for Sage when we both say that the workplace is somewhere you should feel safe, and heard, and like you're not feeling threatened, right? And that's fucked up. So that's kind of where we stand with that. Like I said, more information is coming out, so I don't know. I'm just kind of reading off what IGN is saying, and pretty much that we kind of side with the Department of Fair, like the Department of Goddamn. I'm gonna keep getting this. Everybody knows I'm terrible. The DEHFE. Am I saying that right? DFEH. Like I said, I don't think alcohol itself is the problem. I think it's the reaction of it. But yeah, it's just, this is disgusting that Blizzard ever had these issues, and it's something that needs to be routed out. So while it's great to see that they have put it in place, because you have to start somewhere. Hopefully they are really continuing, and hopefully these things don't exist anymore, despite what their email is saying. So the Blizzard president sent out an email, J. Allen Brock. Basically, he said he hates well, let me go to the top. Sorry. Calling the reported behavior completely unacceptable and pledging to discuss issues with employees to help the company move forward. So he wants the commitment to continuous improvement and focusing on better in the company. He feels unacceptable and extremely troubling about the probations about the specific parties within the email. He doesn't directly address anybody in this email. And he said people with different backgrounds, views, and experiences are essential for Blizzard, our teams, and our player community. He continues making his most pointed reference about the allegations. I disdain bro culture and have spent my career fighting against it. He will be meeting with employees to answer questions and discuss how we can move forward. And he ended by saying, I feel angry, sad, and a host of other emotions, but I am also feel grateful to work alongside a set of leaders and thousands of employees who join me in the commitment to continuous improvement. Thank you, Blizzard. So he basically says, I hate that there was issues here. It's fucked up there was. I don't like this, like, frat bro culture. It's not for the workplace, and he spends his year fighting against that kind of, like, mentality, as it were, it seems. And that basically he's upset that this happened at his company and wants to keep better himself and better in the company for it, which is pretty generic. I mean, what else would you say to this stuff? Obviously, this is like the minimum I would expect any CEO or anybody running this to say. It is good that he said it, and trying to distance himself from, yeah, this is disgusting. This is not our Blizzard, essentially. We are bettering ourselves. It's slightly different than that initial email that came out, because they were basically like, that's not the Blizzard of today. But him saying this is unacceptable, extremely troubling. Either there seems to be not the correlation. Like, is it still the Blizzard of today or is it not? Because you're saying this is definitely not the Blizzard of today, but then why are you saying it's unacceptable, extremely troubling? Like, you already know this and have been working to fix this. So that's what kind of sets me apart, and maybe it's just a logistical thing, right? And I'm not properly understanding the timeline of events. But, yeah, I mean, it seems like there might still be issues there, but they're working on cleaning them up, and hopefully they do pretty good. And also another former executive there said like he has failed the women there at Blizzard, and that's how he feels after all of these allegations are, which, I mean, to be fair, they kind of did. I mean, whether it's like that today or not, it was like that at one point, and you did fail them then. And if it's still happening, you are failing them currently in the present day, and really failing the company as a whole, because like I said, it's a place that you should feel comfortable, be able to do your work, and you shouldn't feel hesitant or on edge and like have to worry about having some weird fucking interaction with a coworker at work. You shouldn't. You should just feel comfortable. Like, the most annoying thing at work is like, should be like the passive aggressiveness through an email chain when you're like, I've already sent you this email. Why do I have to send it again? And someone's too lazy to read back 5 emails from last week. Like, that's like the most it should be. This shit, there's no place for it. It's fucking disgusting. It's reprehensible, and vehemently against. So fuck all the people that were doing this kind of actions at the office. And I really hope that Blizzard guts their office with these kind of people, and just gets the right people in there, gets the right training in there, which, again, they said they are doing that, and they have been for years. So whatever they lie on now, it's very fucking clear that's where they need to be going. So whether they're doing it or not, you need to continue doing it, and move forward, because, yeah, like I said, it's despicable. And it's just going to keep pissing me off if I keep thinking about it. So we're just going to kind of leave it at that, because there's really nothing else I can say. So I hope Blizzard figures their shit out, and I hope all the employees there find comfort in the job, either in the present or in the coming future, because that's just unacceptable, and it's really a shame. So yeah, we'll just move from that. And I don't know how to transition out of that. I was trying to think of like, oh, well, it's a good transition out. So it's gonna be a direct one, and the direct one being that I'm blatantly just talking about it. So let's go to District 9. Yes, that's right, District 9. You might have heard of it. District 9, so the movie from Neil Blomkamp, like decade ago, maybe like 12 years ago. Excellent fucking movie. He also did Chappie, which was okay, but I feel like not a lot of people saw that one. Basically, Neil Blomkamp, he's the South African director. He's moving in the games, baby. So he wants to direct he's going to work on with an indie studio, Gunzilla Games. And he assumes the role of Chief Visionary Officer. So it sounds kind of like Ion from Mythic Quest. Is pretty much what it sounds like. So he kind of wants to run the vision and design the game for a multiplayer shooter. That's pretty much all we have in it. I think it might be in the District 9 like world, because he was recently talking about District 10 as well. So maybe all these tangents are kind of connected. I personally wanted him to do that Aliens project till Ridley Scott fucked it up. Anyways, off topic. He says why he took this role. It comes from a place of bringing directorial skills that would be along the lines of the films that I've done before in the aesthetic of the game. So, aesthetic of the game. The difference from directing a film is not acting like a single point that guides a creative team. It's making sure that you're integrated in the team in a real way. I can come in with a very definitive point of view, but it also has to work on 2 levels. It has to be accepted by the greater team as the right creative direction to go in, and it has to be, first and foremost, something that can integrate into the architecture of the gameplay in a way that is beneficial to the game. So it does sound like he is understanding how this process works. He has seen video games before. He visited Creative Assembly to presumably, quote unquote, help the team in some way of some unannounced shooter project that we don't know about yet. He also produced a short with EA for Anthem to help promote Anthem, which maybe not the one you want to reference. But the game that he's talking about now is in development for PC, PS5, Xbox X/X, S. So, yeah. So basically, by the way, also, it's not next gen anymore. It's current gen. We're in the gen. Stop saying next gen. PS5 is not next gen. Xbox Series X is not next gen. Xbox Series S was definitely never next gen. By the way, they are the gen. They're just gen. I always found it weird that we call it next gen. Like, PC people have to be thinking that's very odd because, like, you're getting your graphics card, and it's like technically that's new graphics card, motherboard, processor, some RAM. It's like you have a next gen computer. He's like, no, that's just upgraded my computer. That's just the gen my computer is. I have it present day. So PS5, Xbox Series X, they've almost been out a year now. I know they're hard to get, but it is current gen. It is the staple. When people are talking about new games and stuff, you're looking at PS5, you're looking at Xbox X, Series X. So that's what it is. So let's just call a spade, I guess. I think that's a saying. I don't know. I'm terrible with sayings. We all know this. But anyways, it's not fucking current gen. It's not next gen. It's current gen. Period. When you upgrade your PC, you don't say it's a next gen PC. When you upgrade the console, once it's able to sell and you're able to purchase it, that day one, once you're able to purchase it, once games are coming out for it, no longer fucking next gen. It is current gen, because you can currently have it present day today. Not next gen. You're not in the future. You're not looking ahead. You go down the stairs, you play the fucking game, you have a good time. PS5, Xbox Series X are current gen. PS4 and Xbox One are past gen. Previous gen, you could say shit like that because they're in the past, baby. We're moving forward. We're in the current day, and we're PS5 or Xbox Series X. Get the fuck over it. All right, needed that. That was fun. Just getting all those quips out. That is something I've been thinking about for a long time, and just had to come. Just had to get it out. I have no idea how long this has been going on. How bad, though, we'll keep going. See, the problem is, Sage is like my internal clock. He's always keeping an eye on that stuff, and now I have to kind of keep an eye on it, which is difficult, I will say. But we got it. It's all right. We'll put the stream up on the other side. Say hi to myself. What up? What up? All right. Now we got Jade Raymond's Studio Haven. So Jade Raymond has returned to industry with her own new studio under Sony. It's called Haven Studios. Its new IP could be a multiplayer game as a service exclusive to PS5. Sony exclusive GAS, which GAAS, which is games as a service. Same as software. It would be the same as SaaS. You've probably heard of software as a service. This would be the same thing. Basically meaning it's a game that's it's probably be deployed somewhere by the cloud, maybe even like Destiny. It's kind of the first one that's kind of typed as this. I haven't really seen a lot of GAS things. I guess you could say technically like the xCloud and the NVIDIA, whatever the fuck their online clouds. I can't even think of it right now. And Google's like all of those could be games as a service. Well, technically Game Pass is games as a service as well. But basically it's an online only game is where you should kind of like just download it from the cloud and play it, which is how most people interact with games nowadays, I would say. But it would be more of like maybe it's free and you just kind of play the subscription model, kind of like you would for MMOs. So that's interesting. Looking forward to seeing what that's going to be about because I'm all in for that. Jade Raymond is best known for like Assassin's Creed 2. She worked on in a couple other games. Stadia was the other one I was thinking of. Obviously, Google Stadia. But anyways, so yeah, her stuff, her previous one shut down, and then now they have Haven. So Studio Haven is it, and it has an exclusive project for PS5. That's all we know about it. But it's interesting nonetheless. So the next one's kind of tying into each other. All right, well, actually, speaking of internet, we'll just say this. PlayStation Network went down, but so did Steam and Fortnite and all that kind of stuff because basically there was a massive Basically, a bunch of shit went down. Which you could use using Down Detector, which is a website people use to see if like, are my websites up or down? Is the game up or down? Blah blah blah. Down Detector helps. It took out a shitload of networks actually. So it was like all the services, like anything on PlayStation, Steam network. It was a ton of connectivity issues. So they were trying to figure that. Basically, it was like the sites, the host where all those servers are. That's Cloud Farm would kind of went down and had a ton of network issues. I don't think this really affected Microsoft because they were kind of hosting their own server farm, so it wasn't as bad for them. So pretty good on that. I guess it's the benefit of hosting your own server farm as opposed to having somebody else host it out. And it's like you could have these down things. Granted, this is a widespread down, and this didn't just affect the game industry. This affected banks and a ton of fucking industries that were being hosted by these various server farms that went down. But pretty interesting shit. I think, but that's just what happens. Stuff's going to go down from time to time. Just got to get over it. And hopefully it goes back up, right? All right, so let's get into the meat. All right. Let me have some of this dragon fruit berry. Let's get a little sippy poo. Oh, it hasn't gotten better. It has fuck me. It has not gotten better since the initial sip. Sometimes, when you like try something, you're like, ooh, it's like rough. Maybe it'll get better. It's like when you have scotch as a kid. You're like, oh, it tastes like gasoline. I never have that again. Then it kind of grows on you. Or like beer, you're like, ooh, that's real bitter. But then you like that bite. You like that bitterness. You like that gasoline flavor. Granted, there's years in between that kind of understanding of taste and texture as opposed to, 30 minutes or whatever the fuck it's been since I sipped the initial sip. But that's what it is. That's the time I got today, baby. And that's what I had to do. I don't have these choices, Just do what I do. All right, so EA is apparently taking a massive shift towards single-player games. So EA notoriously kind of was moving back to multiplayer only for a long time, and a lot of the industry has. They're like, what's the point of single-player narratives? It's something that Sony specifically never got rid of and was always pushing forward, trying to keep keep as part of a big part of the gaming industry. But I will say it's nice to see that EA, one of these big third-party giants, is shifting towards that. Because like they're obviously FIFA, Madden, the sports games. Online was the main component. They always have single-player experiences. But it sounds like they're kind of moving forward to, well, not just that, but because they also tested the waters with Jedi Fallen Order, which was obviously single-player, and that was a massive success. So we're getting another one of those, thank God. But like, because they're anchoring FIFA, Madden, Apex, Battlefield. It's like multiplayer, blah, 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 which is great. But the single player narrative experiences are worthwhile, and they seem to be investing back into it. And with what? Well, obviously, Sage, what is it? What have you been waiting for this whole time? Yes, officially, we got the Dead Space remake officially announced at EA Play. It's got a sweet 1 minute trailer. The devs kind of have their own video on IGN where they kind of discuss how basically they don't want to fuck it up, and they're really using the heart of the OG Dead Space. So it is a remake. So it's kind of what we're talking about. It's not Dead Space 4. It is going to be a modern remake of Dead Space. They're going to put their own spin on it, but stay true to the real Dead Space 1, Dead Space 2 nature. It looks incredible. You only see a little bit, but it's got it's got the feels, and it really, really leans into, we're keeping the horror vibe. We're getting you really in, and the textures look incredible. I mean, I know some of this probably CG or in-game engine, but I would excited to see some gameplay. We didn't get to see that, so it's obviously earlier in the development. And then we do get to see the wall that says cut off their limbs, right? So they did do that, which is famously in the first Dead Space, to let you know, like, oh, fuck, that's how you just cut their limbs off. So you do get that in this, and obviously in the nice 4K HDR render, which looks amazing. But yeah, there's the Dead Space back. Sage, what are your thoughts? Yeah, he loved it. Loved it. We'll just say that. I talked to him earlier about it. But no, it looks great. It's really exciting. It didn't have a date on it, which, it was hard to say there would be. But that is nice because obviously this is EA motive, and we were hoping they were doing that. We were talking about them doing it. It was heavily rumored, but it is just nice to see it official. Just that it's there. We got it. We did it. So that is nice to get to. I finally just started looking at the camera. I'm so used to looking toward where Sage is that I was like just not looking. Now I'm just gonna look right at you, right at the viewer, okay, unless you're listening audioly, then I've been talking to you the entire time. But it kind of gets you more invested in it, and I don't know, I'm really excited. And I like that maybe they'll tweak some things around, but kind of stay true. And I think this is really cool that it's like maybe we'll get some stuff they couldn't do the first time. Maybe they'll tease a little DS2 in it, a little Dead Space 2 action, right? With modern controls, because it has some modern controls. So what more they can kind of do, but it is a full remake. So again, not a remaster. So this is ground up, baby. Essentially a brand new game, and I could not be more excited. I hope they continue with Dead Space 2, and like we said, I hope they just fucking rewrite Dead Space 3. There was some usefulness in Dead Space 3. Like, we're pretty hard on it generally, but there was some usefulness, but it'd be nice to see them kind of go their own direction with Isaac. But yeah, Isaac's back, baby. Isaac's back. We love to see him. Need it, like it, love it, want more of it. We're also in episode 63, by the way, which I know is pretty crazy to say. We've done this for 63 times. Well, I've done it 63 times. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, I would love to know what's chat's thoughts. Chat's too busy talking about Visor Gang, baby. All about that Visor Gang. But it is nice. It is going to be PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PC. No release date or window. Like I said, this is just a teaser trailer in the in-game engine. Just kind of show you off, get you pumped. The developers did confirm it's the Frostbite engine, which we've talked about before. So that's like what Battlefield uses. They're looking forward to taking advantage of the SSDs, the advanced SSDs, the 3D audio, and the haptic and adaptive feedback. All that kind of shit. They're really excited to bring fans even more into this world and make you feel like you're Isaac on the USG Ishimura to save some life once again and look for your girlfriend, right? Because I believe that's the whole journey is just kind of trying to find that and what's going on with that. So, well, where you're also there to repair the starship, but that's also part of it as well. So that's definitely interesting. I'm very excited. They said they're trying to be as true to the original as possible, and that's what I really like to see. Another news, officially last week, we got announced Skate 4. So it's been a long time since Skate. I was never a big Skate fan. I mean, it's great. It's not Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, so I was like, fuck it. But I know a lot of people do like it, and they are making it. They said they showed a cool like dev diary video showing basically all the mocap and all the things they're trying with the physics and things like that with Skate to make sure they really stay true and that you can do more than ever in the Skate frame, like climb up on stuff and things like that you couldn't before. That was just like dumb glitches, and now it's kind of building into that. So it's been over a decade, I believe, since we've seen the Skate franchise. So it kind of brings Skate 4 in, which I should have put on one of the tags, but I forgot. Sometimes I just forget the tag things. You guys know that. But Steam Deck, let's go Valve. Grinding those rails, baby. So Valve has recently been asked a lot of questions, obviously, because their Steam Deck they want to pull off. According to Valve, it's powerful enough to play everything the company has tested on at 30 frames per second or more. So at least 30 frames per second. So basically, if Valve has said they haven't found a game yet the Steam Deck can't handle. So they haven't released a list of what they have tested, but they said everything they put on it does at least 30 frames per second, which is pretty fucking cool for a handheld system. What the Switch Pro could have been, but Nintendo doubled down saying they have no plans to make any other a new Switch handheld in the coming years. It was the OLED, and that was it. So they're they're comfortable in what they got and chilling in that area, and not really pushing the boundaries of graphics. Again, they're like, they used to fucking do this, but they're against it or whatever. They found their niche, and I guess niche. They found their niche, and they're just leaned in. So that's fine. Valve is more than happy to come and fill that void, which I think they're going to pretty well. So a lot got pushed back to 2022, but they did get a fuckload of pre-orders. And I think it's pretty interesting. So it's got an 800p display. So it's a little bit above 720, like I said, which you're not really notice the difference on that screen. So that's pretty good. And 30 frames per second. That's not bad at all. I mean, that's pretty good. You can struggle you can struggle. Like some of the games on when you're running on might have going higher than 30 frames per second, I would bet. But that's okay. You get a PC if you're really trying to get over that. I mean, 30 frames per second was a target, which is a pretty good for that. But like you said, or more, implying that it is the floor of what they consider. So they do want to see higher than that. I believe they actually, there's a tweet from one of the people working on it saying the 30 frames per second target refers to the floor of what we consider playable in our performance testing. Games we tested and shown have consistently met and exceeded that bar so far. There will also be an optional built-in FPS limiter to fine-tune performance versus battery life. So they're basically saying they're nailing everything, at least 30 frames per second or more, and a lot have hit more. Pretty exciting. It comes out in December. The base, like we said, is around 400. But a lot have been pushed to 2022. So check your pre-orders because they might have been pushed. That was a big note this week as well. That quite a few of these things got pushed, and it's like, yeah, man, it's what can happen, baby. It's what can happen. All right, let's get into the meat. I'm just kidding. That was the meat. We got Dead Space, man. So what do I think? I mean, I'm excited. Remake versus remaster. It is a remake, which is what you want. There's a lot you can do with it. I'm expecting kind of Resident Evil 2 level where it's going to be pretty much the same game, but they change it slightly. Obviously, the interiors looks more, but maybe some of the DLC things are all just included. Maybe additional characters. I mean, Resident Evil 2, they've really leaned into it and did a fuckload. I really hope they kind of do that with this, and it sounds like they're pretty adamant on doing that. I want to see what ray tracing is going to do in this game, because with the lighting plays a pivotal role in this. So the ray tracing in Dead Space would be something that's very interesting, especially considering your health pack is literally a light up bar on your back. Get that like nice LED hue to it. Not to mention they have to adaptive feedback of this game. I mean, there's so much this game can do that it's very exciting, and it's interesting to see the scope. Like, is it going to be the full first game? Is it first plus two? Like I said, DLC. Are they going to add new story elements into it? Like Shadow of the Colossus remake added some additional colossi. Is that like plural of colossuses, monsters, guardians, whatever? They added some ones that were only like DLC before. In that was just part of the remake. So it would be cool to see what they're going to do for this one. I hope they add some new stuff. Not that the first game wasn't enough, which it absolutely would be, but to kind of give people who've played the first game a little bit of extra lore, right? A little bit of something else. It's like, you know what happens in 2, maybe put a little bit in there. Just kind of get you going. And it would also be great that hopefully it has like a we'll be back like we are doing 2 at the end of it, kind of like a lead in to kind of get you excited. Although they're probably going to wait on sales is my guess, but I don't know. Like, I'm just still pumped about the last Resident Evil. I need one of these games, and if I'm getting Dead Space, I'm trading off between Dead Space and Resident Evil every year, that would be pretty good, because all these years in between these great games, it's great, but it's also like, fuck, I want to play them. And there's tons of games to play, but these are the survival horror games are like, I need it. And I know Sage is really stoked about it as well, so it should be pretty good. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot to look forward to with that. You know, as far as everything else, I don't know. We still haven't got the real like Sony conference, right? We got that state of play. We haven't seen the big one that's like, oh, here's all these 25 new exclusive games we're getting. So who knows what's going on with that? They still don't have the answer for, is Netflix going to be the streaming service or PS Now? Are they kind of doing that? We have no updates on these things, where they have that leak that potentially Sony was going to do a deal with Netflix for game streaming. We just don't know. You know, it's the end of July, which is interesting that we still haven't heard anything now, but I'm kind of holding on hope for August, right? It feels like a good end of summer thing, end on a high note, like kind of roll right into it. But yeah, I mean, I think what do we got? Do we got GDC coming up, or is GDC right now? What am I talking about? GDC might actually be like right now. GDC 2021. Let's see. Bang. We're just live looking at stuff now. That's what's happening. Yeah, GDC 2021 was this week. Yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, GDC was July 19th to 23rd. So it was, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, so it was literally this last week. It's the Game Developers Conference. It's pretty cool stuff. It's more, you don't really get a ton of stuff announcements. Sometimes you do, but it's more like kind of like meet and greet, showing the interactions, how the gaming industry works. And it's really like hardcore, like nerd level shit, which is fucking awesome. And they did it virtual, it looks like, this year. Damn, I should have signed up for it now. I just like hate myself for that. But nothing big. I saw they had the GDC, which is like their awards, and they gave Game of the Year to Hades. I do know that. So that is something that's pretty cool. So they did give out that award. Let's pull up. We can go over those awards real quick. Let's go. The GDC 2021. All right. So Game of the Year was Hades. Best audio, Hades. Best debut, Phasmophobia. Scary as fuck. Best design, Hades. Hades is just dominating. This is the one that people were excited about. Like we said, all the other awards, it was Last of Us Part 2. Fuck you. I would still say it's the better game, but Ghost of Tsushima is definitely right up there. Hades is definitely right up there. You can't go wrong with any of those three. Any of them are fine. They're actually masterpieces. They're better than fine. So it's nice to see that it's getting the respect it deserves and is winning some of these awards. Innovation Award, Dreams, makes sense. Best mobile game, Genshin Impact. Best narrative, Last of Us Part 2. No shit. I don't think anybody's that close to it. Best technology, Flight Sim. Best visual art, Ghost of Tsushima. Okay, getting some love, baby. Get some love. Best VR AR game, Half-Life Alyx. I think that wins everything. Every time there's a VR category, I think it's won every single one of them, that I can at least remember. I don't think it loses. Why would it? It's so good. Audience award, Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima, baby. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty chalk. It's pretty much just going with what you expect. I would say Game of the Year, Hades. That is always been a toss-up between that, Last of Us, and Ghost of Tsushima. I think any of the three pretty much always win it, and it would have been more, if that was like a different game, I would have been like, what the fuck are you talking about? But I would say it makes a lot of sense for those three. And Hades obviously deserves it, so it's a great job by them. And I just want this new Half-Life game. Like, Half-Life Alyx keeps winning all the VR shit. It's like, dude, just come on. Or Valve, how about you announce the fucking Index 2, right? Or the wireless Index. Like, give me something. I want some new hardware initiatives here. I want some stuff that we saw all these fucking patents. Let's go. Like I said, GDC was online, virtual this week. It will be live in person in 2022. They did make a point in the note, so that's pretty cool. Coming back to live. Yeah. We didn't get any other like MPD news. I love going over that as as our best-selling people like to know, but is what it is. Year to date, I could say there hasn't been much change. We went over I quizzed Sage on the June numbers last week. Let's see if there's any year-to-date changes. I'm not seeing anything. Outriders, which has been fixed and patched. That is one thing. There was a patch that was like the game was kind of shit. Not shit, but like it wasn't what it wanted to be, and there's it was very buggy. It was kind of a mess. The latest patch kind of fixes like everything. It is ready to rock. So if you have been sitting on the end of Outriders or you see it on sale, it's worth picking up. And give it a try. It is fixed now, so don't worry about the buggy shit. It's not cyberpunked, right? Which is also fixed. You can get it. Both worth checking out. So that's like my Jay's Gaming Corner, you could say. So check those out because I feel like they're not getting as much love as they deserve. And Cyberpunk obviously deserves a ton, and so does Outriders. Outriders is a lot of fun. All right, let's. I'm trying to think like, is it possible for me to quiz myself or quiz the audience? Because it's like, what do I want to think about when it comes to quizzing in gaming? And it's more of like information, right? It's like I want to tell you something you didn't know. And hopefully I did that throughout the entirety of this episode, going on my various rants and hopefully still having some streamlined information to provide the latest and greatest in news. Like, for example, we had a TikTok video that went kind of popping this week. I mean, nothing crazy for TikTok, I guess. Crazy for us. It's like 4,600 views or whatever. That was our lowest following. We had like 14 followers. Now we're at 300 and something. So it was good, baby. We love it. That was a trophy video last week. So I do want to say we appreciate all the support you guys have given us for like over a fucking year now, which is crazy. Please follow Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Definitely get the YouTube up. That's our next one we got to really focus on because we can get those subscribers, then have the easy URL that's like GYGP / which would be awesome, but we need 100 subscribers to hit that. And we have ideas to do other videos outside of just the podcast, right? And kind of expand the gaming brand and kind of getting some really cool and interesting thing like game reviews, things like that, but also fun gaming. Like I had a fun gaming TikTok thing. You guys can check it out. It's on our TikToks. Pretty funny. I mean, I found out it was actually like it was going around doing the rounds in April. It was like the cool thing to do in April. I did it, last week. So a little bit behind, but whatever. I'm 32. Get the fuck over it. I'm old, right? So finally got on that bandwagon. But it's pretty funny about Valorant and auto locking. So if you're interested in that, check it out on TikTok. It's also on YouTube. We put on Twitter. We kind of blast all the socials. But yeah, keep following. Appreciate you guys subscribing and just. But we do have plans to kind of get some other videos. I know I say that a lot, but it was mainly because a lot with COVID and now with the vaccines. Obviously, Delta's kind of fucking stuff up again. But things are working that we can get more options. I did not forget, and we have not forgot about the charity event. We're just we want to do it live. Okay, we want to go somewhere that's in Phoenixville or Westchester that we can go physically to do and kind of doing a support for them, support for the pod, and kind of raise money for a good cause. So we still want to do that. It's just the world obviously it's now starting to come back together. We'll see again with Delta, but we do have plans for that. So the more subscribe and listenings, the more advertising, things like that we get that really helps with these abilities because we do obviously have day jobs and run around on the weekends as well. So we take the time out of the day to do this because we love it. And we got a lot of cool ideas. So this is only going to expand. So don't take me being here by myself being anything other than what it is. It's just we're busy. We're always going to keep delivering. I haven't even taken a fucking week off since we started this thing. So we're going to keep delivering the content, and we have plans to expand that. And it should be exciting. We're definitely going to get the interviews back. Some of that is just because schedules and things like that, but we are going to get interviews back in and hopefully get some cool stuff coming down the pipe. So I appreciate everybody. Follow, subscribe, like, all that shit. You'll hear Salvo's voice say that at the end as well. But don't forget, please subscribe to YouTube. That's the one we're really trying to build, but also the TikTok and anything you can, because then I can just tell advertisers, like, look, we get this many views or whatever the fuck, and that means we can get some advertising dollars and we'll buy some beer. We got to get, who the fuck's paying for Sage and the beer? We got to get the beer bounty paid for, baby. Come on. We got to get, and then we could get those charity events rolling too. So hell yeah. So thanks again. Appreciate all our sponsors. I know it was a short episode, a little quick pop, but I don't think it's too short. I don't think it was that short. So, I mean, it's short, but it's 45 minutes opposed to an hour. But anyways, I appreciate everybody. Thanks for coming. Leave your comments, subscribe. If you have something you want us to talk about, DM us, and we'll talk about it next week. Other than that, keep gaming. Glad I don't fucking know. Bye. Have a good one, guys.